Another very interesting tool is buffer. This provides us with a wrapper for both point elements such as linear or polygonal. This packaging can have the dimensions that we want. We are going to work with the layers of rivers, settlements and protected areas. Let us imagine the case of the need for the delimitation of a zone where dumping of waste is prohibited, which extends 1 kilometer from the rivers. It is exactly in this case where the use of the buffer tool is required. We enter the vector menu and geoprocessing tool. We activate the buffer and in its menu we select water as the input layer. In the distance column we select a kilometer and activate the dissolve result box. We are not going to save this result and we will only work now with the temporary files. These can be saved later. We implement the function, and on the map we can check with the measurement tool that the distance between the river line and the limits of the buffer is 1 kilometer. We rename the layer as Buffer Rivers. Now we are going to delimit an area of 100 meters from the settlements in the same way as the rivers. Again, we can check that the distance corresponds to our requirements. Next, we will look for the 1 kilometer area of influence of each of the protected areas. The buffer does not always have to be applied to all elements of the layer. By activating the Selected Features Only box, we make sure that the buffer operates only with the previously selected elements. This envelope, or zone of influence, does not have to be created just towards the outside of the polygon. If we introduce the distance value as negative, the buffer is reduced towards the interior of the polygon. For the last case, we need to select all the elements that contain some value in the capital column in the settlement layer. We can access the column and select them by hand using the Shift or Control keys. We are going to make a multiple buffer with various distances. In the Processing tab, we open the toolbox. In the Search field, we enter Multi and search for Multi-Ring Buffer. As with the Input layer, we select Settlements and check that the Selected Features Only box is checked. We assign 3 rings with a distance of 5 kilometers and implement. We can see that each of the capitals now has a multiple buffer depending on the distance, which we can also reflect in the symbology.